It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to bring out the man of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the last professional broadcaster, Sam Roberts!
Thank you. Thank you. Can we please give it up for Mike Rome one time?
You look sharp, man.
It's moments like this when I realize, people say you can't give yourself a nickname. But if you can find enough people to say it enough times as loudly and as forcefully as Mike Rome just did, it's not true. Did you hear the oomph?
It's official. We're making it official.
And he did back there. He goes like, is there anything that you'd like to be introduced as? And I went, last professional broadcaster. Yeah, last. It's like, yeah? I was like, yes, that's exactly. Well, welcome, guys. Thank you all for coming out here to the legendary Comedy Store. And I can't help but realize that 3 weeks ago, this was the spot where they filmed the live intro to the Chris Rock special on Netflix, an iconic moment in comedy. And today, we have a hot dog table.
Moving on up.
I mean, we are destroying legacies here, but we're making a difference on the planet. It's different now than it was when we first got here. Wow. It's a very exciting time. I almost feel like as I introduce everybody to Notsam A Mania, I wish I'd worn like a tuxedo. Give real Vince.
You could have put a bow tie on with that.
WrestleMania 3 vibes. Notsam A Mania!
You got to get more growly. Get a little more growly.
I don't think I can. I don't. Come on,
you got it in you.
Well, maybe. We'll see. The night is young. The night is young. Okay. I never had it. Listen, we have a very, very busy show this evening. I'm so glad so many of you were able to come and check this thing out. And I'm not going to be able to do all this heavy lifting alone. I am going to have a co-host, as it were, here, and an Ed McMahon to my wrestling's Johnny Carson. Mike, could you introduce Cathy Kelley?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, that's what I was going to say.
this is how we do things now. Please welcome. I'm definitely a... Can I say a guy? The Cathy Kelley guy? Can I say that?
You can say that. You can say that.
How many Cathy Kelley guys we got in the house? All right, good. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, for the most beautiful lady on Monday Night Raw, Cathy Kelley!
Have a seat, Cathy. Welcome to the show. How excited are we? I mean, how exciting is it for you? I saw you. I watched this Monday Night Raw show.
Yes.
And I see you, and you're trying to be the co-host of WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't work out.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
Because today you're the co-host of Notsam A Mania, and it's even bigger. Is this...
Much better. Much better.
It is better, isn't it? Is this exciting for you?
I do... I appreciate...
Oh.
How much more inviting you are than The Miz. So there's that.
That's very nice. A round of applause. Yeah. Inviting. A round of applause. Now, Mike, I was also thinking about you. WrestleMania is a big night, not just for us fans, not just for the superstars, but for the announce team. I mean, your voice is that voice that begins to paint the picture for the biggest matches on the grandest stage. You can applaud that. You can applaud that.
It's a big deal.
I paid him.
Is there any kind of vocal training that you have to do? Because as you're sitting here making these absurd announcements for this show, if you throw your voice out, that's it for the show of shows, the showcase of the immortals. That'd be very bad.
Yeah, no drinking this week. I'm not drinking at all this week. Basically, it's just a lot of water, not a lot of talking. I've set aside tonight just for you. Just for you. But the rest of the time, I don't talk to anybody else.
When do you start thinking about it? When do you start thinking about WrestleMania and your announcements? And
he has this weird clause where he actually doesn't talk to anyone until he goes out to the ring.
Is that true, or is that what he says to you? It's a question. It's not a. But when do you start thinking about it? You know, I'm sure you think like, oh, this announcement on this stage. You know, if I put the bass in my voice at this point, or you know, I mean,
to be honest with you, like it's hard to tell because I don't, with Sam there and myself there, we don't know who's doing what yet. Technically, I don't even know unless
that's
it's
shocking.
No comment. I can't say anything. Technically, unless it's just a specifically Raw like match, then I know for sure I'm doing it. And those are easy because you're kind of doing the same people, and you just kind of ride the audience more so than anything. With Cody last year, it was just like, all right, cool, let's ride this. Let's go with the audience. Let's go with the energy, and you just kind of go from there. Unless it's something you already have, like in the bag, like Cody, like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do this like this. Other than that, we're just gonna kind of ride it.
You don't like look in the mirror and just like repeat Logan Paul over and over again?
No, but I'm going to now.
That's also what Sam does at home.
It's
I was
true.
like, you did really good at that.
I don't do it in the mirror. I do it with my guys. You know, with my guys when I'm making my matches. You know. Well, look, let's get this show on the road. Let's keep it moving. I think it's time we bring out our first guest, don't you?
Yeah. No.
I think
No.
Who's saying?
You don't bring out the first guest in my home club, Chico.
Oh, no. I didn't realize this was...
You losers know who we are.
Are you sure?
We are the host of the Comedy Store Wrestling Podcast.
Oh, this is awkward. This is real awkward.
And this jabroni comes into our house to make us look stupid.
I didn't.
We don't need him to do that. I'd like to give it up for my partner. She's a lesbian.
That's...
This is going like the Shockmaster. Oh, sorry, I broke character. But we came to bear Sam Roberts a gift of compassion.
What?
Eddie, give him the bill.
Instead of getting the Cuban to have the Cuban accent. Anyway, we wanted Trophy Smack here.
Oh, my
wants to present you with this belt. You're welcome in our house anytime, brother.
Now it's really official.
Are they clapping for Earl or for the belt? I can't tell anymore.
Took his shirt off. I thought I was going to be assaulted, and instead I got this championship title. That's amazing, and it says that it's the last professional broadcaster championship. I'm not 100% sure grammatically what that means, but man, do I appreciate it. Look at this, the real deal from Trophy Smack?
Trophy Smack.
And Comedy Store Wrestling. That's incredible. Thank you, guys. Let's give a round of applause.
Give it up for Sam Roberts, a good guy.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
You never saw us.
You can put your shirt on now if you want to. Just turned around and just turned around and his shirt was off. I didn't see it happen. It just existed. Well, let's actually he's apologizing. Let's actually get into our first guest. Are we ready to see a legend on this stage? It sounds like they're ready. So, Mike, could you introduce X-Pac real quick?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome WWE Hall of Famer X-Pac!
X-Pac, man.
Hello,
Sean Waltman,
everybody.
Welcome to the Comedy Store, man. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's nice to be here. Love you too. Jeff Meacham right there. Wow, nice house.
Yeah, oh, thank you.
So, yeah, after you announced me.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, oh, I hope there's a good house there.
Well,
Now you
welcome.
had a good idea around on Wednesday.
Why do you say that?
Because not as many other things going on
That's
here.
it.
We're
That's it.
WrestleMania weekend.
That's
Well,
it.
also, it's a Wednesday, so not as many people have come out to Los Angeles yet who are
That's
traveling
true.
in for WrestleMania.
Oh,
so.
well, so
That's
you got to be
true.
really
Look at
hardcore
that.
if you're here tonight. I guess. Hey, it's great seeing everyone.
It's great having you here, man. You know what boggled my mind when I realized it? The 1, 2, 3 kid never had a WrestleMania match, right?
We were advertised for a 10-man tag at WrestleMania 10,
Yeah.
but Sean and Scott took an extra 15 or so minutes for the ladder match. And who's gonna bitch about that, right? I mean,
Right.
they made a classic.
Right.
But so at the time, and like my wife at the time is in the crowd and she's waiting for us to come out, and it doesn't happen. The main event happens, and and she's like, oh, and
They're going on.
yeah, I
After
had
the
no
title.
idea they had matches like that. They booked like that they could just
Yeah. Just,
ixnay if they had time constraints. I didn't know that was a thing. I found out.
yeah,
the
worst possible.
And then they gave us we had TV in Poughkeepsie or something. Might as well Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie.
And so they put our 10-man tag on there.
So it's pretty much the same, right? WrestleMania 10,
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden, Poughkeepsie TV
Hey, but,
taping.
the pay was good.
Yeah.
I mean, the pay, I got $10,000 for that. Yeah.
Shout out to
For not-
$10,000. You got an applause on.
Yeah, but okay, but we're talking about WrestleMania here, so I mean, is it really that much?
How do they break that news to you? Do they get all 10 of you together and go yo, I don't know what you're training for?
I don't, or get why are you bothering warming up?
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
No, we were on deck, man. We were waiting, and they just can't last minute.
They just come out and
Yeah,
go
it was
hey, that's
Not
it.
today, psych.
I've had that happen to an interview once on
Have you?
Raw. I get it, yeah.
Oh, so you get it. Same exact.
Totally the same thing.
So your family came in for the interview, and they were waiting for you to do
My
the
mom
interview?
was at home. She stayed up late watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
It was a bummer. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you got to take off your gear. And you just put it on. You haven't done anything in it. You're like, it just feels like it's but 10 grand in Poughkeepsie goes far.
And then, so WrestleMania 11, I was in Scott's corner when he worked with
Right.
Jeff, and Road Dogg was,
Right.
And I got to get in there and do some stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Scott was nice to make sure he featured me like that. That's how Scott was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you tell that. We've talked before about Scott and how in the WCW days when you were out with your injury that Scott would wear the 6-ball NWO shirt, but he would wear it backwards on purpose
Yes.
to remind.
So we used to call it Tyson. We would Tyson the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Remember how Tyson would do the towel? We would do that with the T-shirt.
Yeah.
And just throw it over, and then you could switch it backwards. But see, Scott, here's what Scott did. It was almost like I was on TV every week while I was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they would do those in-ring NWO things, and whenever the hell, the top of the hour, whenever they would do them, he would give everyone an NWO SIG shirt. He would make everyone wear one, Mach. He would have everyone get on the mic and say what's up to me, shout me out, tell them, we miss you, X-Pac, or that was what Scott, and no one was gonna tell him no.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
awesome.
So everyone did that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel rude here. I'm over here looking at you and
No,
what am I doing?
What does he say? What do the guys say to you though after WrestleMania 10? Right? Because Sean and Scott are both your friends. Is there any sorry kid, we didn't, or it is what it is?
Oh
This is
no, there was not even a word.
nothing.
Yeah, no. And I wasn't expecting one either.
Right.
Right.
So. Right. And you even knew in the moment, that was a classic we just saw. That's gonna live forever. It's okay. Yeah. That's big. A lot of people in the moment probably couldn't get there.
I mean, yeah, obviously looking back, it's just yeah, I mean, the 10-man or ladder match.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, people look at WrestleMania 10. Man, if they just made that ladder match shorter and put that 10-man in.
Yep.
But then...
We need to shoehorn that 10-man back in there.
But then you go like 4 years into the future. And it's not WrestleMania, but it's the Raw after Mania. You have one of the most memorable moments of the entire Attitude Era, really, when you show up with DX on Monday Night Raw. Yeah. I mean, just incredible. We talk about forever, right? You watch the ladder match and you're like, yeah, that's a classic.
So I'm like really nervous when I speak in public. Like these kind of settings, like it just feels like we're shooting the shit. So it's not as bad. But like, Hall of Fame speech or, I was inducting Jerry Lynn into the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame and just totally drew a blank and shit to bed. So yeah, that was a really nervous moment for me, man. I like that fear of speaking in public is like why, my promos were always like, hit or miss.
Yeah.
If we're to be honest, right? So
well, I mean, you also
that one was a hit.
That was a hit.
But I was still scared. And
do you allow yourself the victory though? Like when because you'll be critical of yourself.
When I got back.
But when you get one, when you nail it, do you go back and be like, yeah, I nailed it? Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. I'm happy to hear that.
But I usually wait for somebody else to tell me it was good.
Oh,
first.
Yeah. If you're just like, home run, big, and no one's saying it.
Because you come back through the curtain and you look over at Vince, and if he's like, yeah, you're like, yes. If you don't even look at you, it's like, ruin your night, man. For real.
Did you ever have a moment where you were like, you didn't, because a lot of times it's bad before you get back there, right? And so when he's not looking at you, you're like, oh yeah, it was as bad as I thought it was. But did you have moments where you were like, that was good, and you walk back and you find out it was not good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe I could be mistaken because as we get older, the brain and all that. I believe I had a match with Eddie Guerrero on TV before, like it was when he first got back.
Yeah.
Or not got back, when he first got there before he his elbow up. Mm-hmm. I believe I had a match with Eddie and walked back through the curtain, and Vince sent us back out to do it again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. And you hear those stories, right? I mean, I think famously, like the Ric Flair, Randy Savage title match, they had to go back and do over, not the WrestleMania one, the TV one. But like, how do you get in the mind frame? Because you have to have a certain amount of confidence to go out in front of thousands of people and wrestle a match. We're going to go entertain them, and I feel confident. I feel good. It's going to be great. How do you get back there when it's like, no, I know the only reason I'm going out here is because I sucked 10 minutes ago?
It wasn't that it sucked, but like, okay, like if it's just mediocre, it might as well suck, in my opinion. When you're at that level,
sure.
Like, and I don't even mean mediocre. Like, if it was just pretty good, that's not. It might as well be the
right.
When you're at that level, that's just how it is. And Vince was right. When I look back on it, he was absolutely right.
And you just shake it off and go like, no. All right, we gotta make it count now.
Oh, and we got back and knew, okay, that was much better.
Yeah, you're right. When you're getting paid $10,000 for a 10-man tag, you better be good.
It's fucking me and Eddie. It's Eddie Guerrero and I. I mean, it's not like
Yes.
So there's some expectations there.
Yes. How did you? When you realized that you were kind of, because one of the things about you that people know is that you became I don't know if measuring stick is the right word, but you were the guy that a lot of people were thrown in with to have matches to find out if they were good or not.
I mean, that's the word.
Yes.
But it wasn't like someone anointed me that. And like I would not have I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh yeah, he's the one that like gave so-and-so the thumbs down and now this guy can't feed his family.
Right. Right. But did you catch wind that people looked at you that way as you were doing it?
Yeah.
And was that pressure for you, or were you just like, it is, I'm just good at this?
I would rather be like in a spot that made more money.
Sure.
Than the guy that You know, I mean, that's nice and everything for a minute, but like that's not like the spot you want like for your entire career. Let's put it that way.
Right. That
Getting
main
everybody
event.
else ready for that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I get that. Well, look, how about we invite somebody else out here to talk with us? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah? All right, Mike. Why don't you introduce Dolph?
Oh, really?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Hollywood, Florida, weighing 218 pounds, the man with the best hair in the business, Dolph Ziggler!
Dolph Ziggler, the show off. Did you bring for everybody, or is that all for you?
This is for me. Do you guys want some?
You know what I love about what you've done with yourself?
The Botox?
I just feel like over time, you took your love of the kind of 80s hair metal aesthetic and just made it, this is who I am. To the point that, like, no matter what era we're in, dress code this, in gear, out of gear, it's like, no, Dolph is going to have his hair feathered, and he's going to have a sleeveless denim vest, because that's who Dolph is.
I feel like I tried a couple different things, like, oh, this is what Randy Orton is wearing. Like, in OVW, when I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing, like, that's black trunks and like a frown on his face, like, okay. And then you go, okay, everybody's trying to do that. Maybe I should wear pink trunks and put my hair in pigtails and see what happens. You try some things out. And then you get to a point where you're so good and it doesn't matter. That was the end of the thought.
Yeah. X-Pac is just right next to you going, yeah, 100%, yes.
A bunch of people think it's like Shawn Michaels-y in like early 90s, but it's more Vince Neil.
That's what I always got, Vince Neil. Yeah. I always got. And is that just because this is how you feel like you? And that's
it's funny. Like I might my gear to be kind of like how I would. I'm dressed like this because I'm going to the whiskey after this. I know. I'm like, this is what I would wear out. So like, I just normally I throw a blazer on and pretend I'm in business casual and grown up or whatever.
Right.
But now I'm like, oh no, I'll just wear what I do. So that's what I started doing at work. And the second there's like a complaint that like I don't do my job well or better than everybody else or don't give a damn about anything, as soon as that comes into me, I will switch things up. But 19 years in a row with not one fucking complaint. So
yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
I feel like we gloss over that 19. There's no time off to do like Marine 11 or it's.
Go ahead.
I once took 4 weeks off to do a movie, which normally takes 8 to 12. You guys should know about here. And during those 4 weeks, I go, cool, I'll be off TV. People forget for a minute. We booked a live event in the city. I was filming the movie, and we switched the scenes in the movie to have a kidnappers drop at a wrestling show. And they booked a wrestling show and put me on it, and I couldn't even have like 4 weeks off TV. I guess that I'm so good at my job.
Because you're just so good.
So I don't know. I don't want everyone to applaud. Like, what's a bad thing that I do?
You know, that's actually
let's start. Everyone just shout out.
That's a healthier way to do it. If you could come up with something you don't do well.
Somebody, anyone here? I'm all ears. I'm easy.
Nothing. No. I mean, strut?
She said that you're a bad strutter. You're an average strutter.
I don't get up. I wasn't taking requests to what I. Do you have singles? Because I take Venmo either way. But sorry, do you?
When did you? I appreciate that. When did you?
Do your little show or whatever. I don't. I'm just kidding. Thank you for having me. By the way.
Thank you for coming. This is amazing for me. I mean, to look at this couch and the talent that's on it. It's unbelievable. And hot dog. When did you... That's hot dog. When did you come to the realization that you were as good as you thought you could potentially be? Right, because we all go like, maybe I'm really good. And then only a few of us go like, oh, I am.
I want to say it's the second time crap was dumped on me on television.
Okay.
Which is true.
Yeah.
But it is. No matter what, if you don't think you're the best, you shouldn't be trying to work in our company. And so we should all think that we're the best at what we do. But then every year or two, I go back and look at a match and I go, oh my God, that's so embarrassing to me, how bad I was in that one position right there. And then 2 years go by, and then I get to a point, say 2019, 2020, where I'm like, come on, what am I doing wrong? And I will watch, well, I famously don't watch wrestling, but...
Not a wrestling fan?
Can't stand that. But you get to a point where I'm like, okay, let me watch this back to see like, oh, I'm sure I took this guy's finish great, because I'm not winning. But you're like, okay, this one, I go home happy on Monday night, like, damn it, I did it. My job. No, I didn't win or anything. I just did my job. But I go home and watch and I go, damn it. Still, it's 19 years later, and I'm pissed at two different pieces of that match that weren't perfect because of me. And I go, damn it, learning every day. And I don't say that out loud because that's not funny, but like, it genuinely, I'm to a point where I'm over it. I don't give a damn. I can do everything I want. We get to Gorilla. They go, well, you lost 7 minutes of your 8-minute match. Your music's playing. And I get it done. And I love that. But there's a piece of me that somehow every single time, there's not one of my favorite matches, favorite moments, anything where I didn't go, damn it, there's 3 spots where I wasn't perfect. That kills me.
Have you been a perfectionist always? Or is that something that as you get better, you realize your potential to continue to get better?
I think you judge it on levels. Like, I went to Ohio Valley Wrestling. I didn't come in as a legacy. I didn't come in as a friend of somebody. I didn't even come from independent wrestling. I was just amateur wrestling, and I came in there and I go, all right, I'm a fan. I love this. I should be good. And 6 months in, I got pulled aside saying, you're not doing good enough. And I'm like, what? I'm here early. I'm leaving late, whatever. And you go, what am I not doing? And they go, oh, I was so in a 23 straight years of amateur wrestling that I had my shoulder go out in a match, and I didn't let anybody know. Not my coach, not my opponent, not anybody. I just kept wrestling, whatever. You have that mindset. So then you get to WWE. If you don't know what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to be letting everyone see what's happening to you and like letting them in. Like, ow, my arm hurts. Ow, my shoulder went out. Ow, I pissed my pants. Whatever, anything.
Right.
And I was so focused on just like training and getting better that I wasn't picking it up, that aspect. And they go, hey, 6 months in and you have bad reports. I'm like, what? How? And I go, okay. So at this point, it'll be a little bit inside. Rip Rogers, Jim Cornette are running the show in Ohio Valley Wrestling. And if you hate them, if you love them, whatever, I don't give a shit. But even Rip would go, I'm a crazy asshole. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. They're going to fire me. They fired him twice while I was there training. But I am going to teach you 101 how to do this. And when you go up there and they say you're doing it wrong, you're right. You're doing it wrong. Get paid and keep doing your shit. And then in 3 years, when you're fired and you're on independence, use my tactics. I go, okay. So I got everything and I went in early. He got fired, and we were told no one is allowed to train with him. So Mikey from the Spirit Squad had a key to the arena, and I would still go train with him and Rip. And I was like, I'm getting 3 practices in a day. I want to learn 5 years in 6 months. And if I get a chance at the main roster, I want them to say, we can't not function without you. That's not a clap thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true, but
And then you end up going to film a movie and you can't even take time off for it. So there it is.
4
You got what you
weeks
wished
would have
for.
been so nice.
You got what you wished for. X-Pac, did you ever have a moment like that when, Cathy, anyone you want to share? When you realized that you're very, very good?
Wow.
Oh, you're gonna be all humble and nice. Fuck,
No,
I'm gonna seem like
actually,
an
I'm
asshole.
not. And but it feels weird not being humble.
I know. I mean, I don't know.
It's just it's a bad look, but I'll do it anyways. I kind of knew, like, really early on.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. This is what I love. People, a lot of humility. I feel like sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit, or you don't. I mean, I give myself more than enough credit, but
I actually thought I would like you go back and you look at your old stuff and you pick it apart, right? So I was thinking, oh my God, I can so relate to that. Like, and it's not like botches. It's like that. Like a lot of people, like I quit telling people, like the holes in my matches because I don't want to ruin it for them because they think these matches are so great, and I'm not going to say they're not, but like if I point out all the little things, like it's hard not to see them after that, you know. Yeah. But back to your question, I kind of knew early on that I was going to be pretty good at it, you know. It was just the this part that I was always, you know,
right,
always kind of scared of. I didn't have a lot of confidence on them, like ever.
And but you were always good though when it was just like emotion was spilling out of you. That's why that WrestleMania promo is so good. It's just real raw, just like it's all.
And the stuff in WCW with Nate.
Yes,
like
yes.
Yeah, we really didn't like each other.
Right.
He can say all he wants. I mean, I still respect. I hated him, but I was such a mark for him that I was working with him at the same time. Like, does that make any sense?
Yeah, I get it. I get it because you still love the entity and the guy that you grew up and but that person, the human being that you deal with, that dude sucks.
I thought so at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he thought the same of me. So.
It makes sense. Dolph, I feel like I was going through some of your WrestleManias, right? And I feel like people don't realize that you've done almost everything that a person can do at a WrestleMania. You've had multi-person ladder matches, more Andre Battle Royals than just about anybody. You had, which is an accomplishment.
Shut the f*** up.
Oh, that's an accomplishment.
You know, on Superstars, you're undefeated. Shut the f*** up. For it. Like, I was like, ladder matches, okay. You put your body on the line. There's a story there.
Ladder match, yeah.
Let's cut the bull.
You had the. I mean, you've done the great stories. The Otis story was a great story. People were super. To this day, when we talk about the pandemic and what we missed, everybody brings up the Drew main event and everything, but the culmination of that Otis, Dolph, Mandy story would have been so money in a stadium.
I hate that I had one singles match in 18 years, and it was on a soundproof stage with no fans. And here's why I hate it. I don't hate it because I got one ever and there was nobody there. That's hilarious. That's a great rib. Well done, Junior, and everybody else. Well done. I am heartbroken that this beautiful story of this kick-ass lady and this badass guy that you're rooting for and this ass 80s bad guy with his collar popped.
You got to be the 80s bad guy.
It's my whole life. It's finally on TV. I'm the 80s bad guy. I'm Blaine, and I'm going to race you down the mountain because my dad owns this place. I finally get it, and we invest so much time, and we have, like, not the matches, not the stuff that a lot of you guys see is important. The behind-the-scenes things where Sonya and I have, like, this weird chemistry right off the bat to where we seem like these Bond villains. I'm like, this is the most beautiful story I have ever been a part of in this company, and I'm so proud of it. And I go, all I wanted, not to wrestle in front of you guys, that would have been awesome. That moment where I get punched in the balls, and Otis picks up Mandy, and they kiss, and I go, I am heartbroken that this is not in front of 80,000 people. And it broke my heart because it was the payoff of a long story, and sometimes we cut those short, and sometimes we do those wrong, and when we do them great, that's awesome, and I'm usually not a part of it. I finally was, and I hate that you guys weren't there to be like, yes! Like, holy shit. That's what I hate. I love that so much.
Yeah, no, and it would have been a forever moment. It's one of those that's all because of the story that was told.
The story was so important.
Yeah,
I was there when you won the title, Dolph. At the Meadowlands.
Which time, brother?
yeah, you know.
It was the day after WrestleMania, and Pat Patterson came up to me and he goes, "You got to see this. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. It's going to be so great. God damn it, the people are going to love it. They're going to go banana." Didn't they?
Oh God, that's one of the great Raw after WrestleMania problems. It's another thing you two guys have in common. You're both very good, and you both have amazing Raw after WrestleMania moments.
You forgot the perfectionism.
And one of you lost to a team that Snooki was on at WrestleMania.
Hey, she did pretty good.
Oh, you lost us. Wait, what?
She did do good.
Yeah.
Snooki did pretty good, right?
Superman does good. She did great. High school graduate, no big deal. No. I'm kidding.
I was surprised. There wasn't high expectations.
Yeah.
And you guys
Expectations were very low.
Yeah.
She did fantastic. I was blown away because sometimes celebrities come and they're like sometimes it's us on a media day, 5 a.m. till 2 p.m. and you're just bouncing around and you're like a zombie. You don't give a shit. You're promoting this. Yeah, Raw's tonight. Yeah, I got it. But like sometimes celebrities come and they promote something on Raw and they're going through the motions. They don't care. Like no one's to touch me. No one's to mess up my hair. And there's guys like Hugh Jackman that go, "Hey, can you punch me in the face or can I punch you in the face?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's got to be real." He goes, "Okay." And then, of course, it had to be me getting punched. But again, but there's stuff like that where I go, it's Snooki. She has like a reputation for being like she doesn't give a shit. She's here to get paid, whatever. She busted her ass. She did great. That was so cool. But one of my favorite things is just like, if you come back tomorrow, I was going to say we have a stand-up show here tomorrow, my brother and I, but it's been sold out for 2 months. No big deal. So, but my favorite thing was like, when I'm introducing myself to the crowd, if you don't know me, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, tag team champion, intercontinental champion, United States champion, world heavyweight champion, went to WrestleMania, lost to fucking Snooki. Yeah. And I go, that sums up the career pretty beautifully, I think.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's a great career. It's a great career. It's just varied. It's
great
varied.
golf clap career.
It's varied, and that's the spice of life after all. Let's make a little more room on that couch real quick before we start turning people over, because there's another person I'd love to come out and join you fellas. Hey, Mike Rome, why don't you introduce Corbin?
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, he's been a lone wolf. He's been a bum. He's been happy.
Aww.
He has the best hats in the game. Please welcome Baron Corbin!
Baron Corbin, and it is back to Baron Corbin. Can we give that?
Happy's dead.
Well, Happy, Constable, King, Bum-ass. I don't know if that was an official name or was that a McAfee?
I mean, there was a choir that sang it during my entrance at SummerSlam, so I'm going to go with Bum-ass Corbin is a full-on character.
No, that's true. You know, I mean,
still have the mustard-stained shirt.
Dude, they made an action figure with that mustard-stained shirt. That's an important shirt.
It also had two heads. It had the sad face Corbin with, my bald ass sideburns going on. And then it's got the happy head. I guess. I don't know.
Whose idea was it to let the hair, when it was Bum-ass Corbin, to let the hairline Because as I will confirm...
I'll give you one guess. Whose idea that was?
You didn't volunteer it, did you?
No.
Okay, all right.
It was Vince, and Vince said, I want you to look as terrible as possible. So grow your hair. I mean, I got a text message from Vince at like 2 a.m. that was like, you're no longer allowed to cut your hair or shave your beard. And I'm like, you know it's going to look bad. He goes, that's the point. And even worse, when it was at its worst, I was visiting schools with my daughter, which are private schools, and I have to show up, and I'm like, I apologize. I look like but I don't have a choice.
Yeah. You've got a career where you can afford to send your daughter to private school, but you have to look like a fool doing it.
Yes. Yes. They're like, who's this homeless guy with this child? That's where I was at.
But it's kind of amazing for somebody that came from where you came. You know, it's not like you had a ton of professional wrestling experience before you got here. This wasn't what you did. For you to, like, you know, the character work, like Dolph was just talking about a minute ago, the stories and how important all that is. For you to go like, okay, we're gonna turn you from a lone wolf to a king to a constable to a sad bum to a happy guy who makes jokes to a baron to a, I mean, it's a lot.
It is, and I also didn't know what a constable was when I was like, hey, you're going to be the constable. I was like, what is that? Not quite sure, but it's also been a long time. Like, I think we forget, everybody's like, you've had a lot of characters. But I've also been on the main roster for like 7.5 years now.
Right.
Like, everything has run like a 2-year course, and it's been a fun ride to go through those, because nothing's been like, oh, hey, Corbin, you're going to take you off TV for 9 months. You're going to come back as a new character for this. Everything has kind of really just rolled one thing into the next. From, you know, Lone Wolf, Vince was like, hey, we're going to shave your head now. I was like, thank God. We're going to make you the constable. I was like, well, I don't know what a constable is. He's like, well, you're like a cop in Texas. They have constables. And I've seen one constable car in my life. But so it's been a fun evolution of characters, because it's never been like go away and then come back as something completely new.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're one of those, like, as much as they're all different characters, if you did that line and traced it through, there is one through line. There's one Corbin through line. It's just a guy who's really struggling to figure out who he is, but it's all one guy.
Total identity crisis. Which I think is, we're kind of right now, we're running back into this course of being a little sad and depressed and trying to figure out who I am and where it goes from there. But now it's going to have, Hunter's touch on it. So who knows where it's going to go.
Yeah. Yeah. As we're talking about WrestleMania, that's what's brought all of us together tonight, after all. You've got some pretty major WrestleMania accomplishments under your belt.
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I only retired Hall of Famer Kurt Angle. That was...
He ended the man's career.
His kid gave me the finger after the match from, like, the second row.
Is that right?
I was like, hey, I beat your dad. And he's like, here you go, buddy. So, yeah, that one was awesome. And then my debut was at WrestleMania, winning the Andre the Giant as I was in NXT, which was super cool. But, yeah, that was awesome. The match last year with Drew McIntyre was a lot of fun.
I
enjoyed that.
You can applaud the Drew McIntyre.
The end of days being kicked out of was a little bummer for me. I shed a tear because I protected that forever. I had a conversation with Taker about protecting your finish, and I mean, I protected it for almost 8.5 years. So
I remember seeing you that day.
Not that I'm hitting it all the time, but
but
when I do, it worked.
I do remember seeing you that day, and you just mumbling, "They took her away from me."
Yeah.
And at first,
it's all I had, people. It's all I had.
I was like, "What's he talking?"
No one's ever kicked out of the end of day.
There's so much more they'll take away. It's the best. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just older. I'm making an old joke about me. But that first couple months on the roster, whoever you're working with, that was awesome.
It was this guy, beautiful blonde hair, big muscles. He was the guy everybody worked with when they debuted on the main roster. Has that changed?
I don't watch. I don't watch. I think it's you. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Dolph, we were going over your WrestleMania resume. You were an NXT champion last year at WrestleMania. That
yeah.
was a big deal. That was cool.
I should have Googled me before I came out here. That's really funny. That's NXT
Yeah,
champion.
you were a
Hell yeah.
world champion, for goodness sake, and having great matches while you were doing it.
All right, I'll take it. Yeah, sure.
But as somebody who's not really into wrestling, I guess.
This is Corbin's time, but I went to NXT assuming I'd be there for 3 weeks. I did not know that I'd be doing anything other than helping out. And it was a surprise to me to become champion, which is great. Because if I'm surprised, you motherfucker better be. So that was awesome. And I think we helped the Steiner kid out a little bit. We helped him. We gave him some good matches. We got him on Raw. We got some championships for him. We got the title back to him. And I feel like the 2 months I had with him were really, really helpful. And I think it's going to be awesome, whatever happens next for him. Big fan of his. I'm a bitter old guy, but I'm rooting for him, and I love him. He's great. As a person, he's awesome. I hope it goes through the roof, whatever happens next.
Do you guys enjoy that as two guys who did not necessarily come from the world of professional wrestling before getting here? The fact that you've both gotten to a place where you've acquired this like crazy amount of knowledge that maybe you never thought you would have, and are now like being put in a position to teach younger people.
I think it goes in waves. I think a little bit. For me, like, it is exciting. Sometimes I'll feel like, you know, I really know what I'm doing because I got to work with, you know, Cena and Angle, and I've done some stuff with Taker and, you know, guys like that. And Roman, I ran a program that lasted like forever with Roman.
That was really fun for me also.
Yeah, we had a great time until you let me get thrown in a porta potty and pushed around a baseball stadium.
I didn't let you. I just pitched it.
Oh. But you work with guys like that. Seth Rollins obviously is one of the best that will ever walk through these doors.
Yeah.
But you learn from these guys, and I take little things because I've just been a heel my whole life. So I work with these killer baby faces, and then, you know, when you're working with young guys, you can instill some of the input that those guys give to you to them, and it's awesome. But then you get to the point where I'm at right now, and I'm like, maybe I have no clue what I'm doing, so don't listen to any of my advice that I've given you over there. But so it goes in waves like that. Sometimes you think your advice is like top-notch stuff, and then like right now, I mean, I was talking to Theory the other day about something, and I was like, wait a second, I don't have a clue because I'm trying to figure myself out right now again anyway. Like, I feel like I'm starting back over and trying to get back up to the top of the mountain. So it's awesome when you can help somebody out and they learn from it, but also I think you lose a little. Some of these guys come up and they're maybe not as authentic as they come off, where they're like, hey, what'll make me better? And then they turn right here and they go, hey, what'll make me better? And they go, hey, man, did you see anything out there that'll make me a little better? And you're like, okay, he's just asking everybody. He actually doesn't give a shit what I want to say.
Is there, if they came to you, right, and they go, we want to make Baron Corbin a good guy. We want people to cheer for Baron Corbin. That's going to be your task. Do you have any idea? Like, first of all, do you have any interest in that whatsoever? And second of all, do you think you could pull that off?
I think I could. How we get there, I think, would be the task. Because when I was bum-ass Corbin, I think we were floating with that line. Like, no joke, I would come out of the curtain or whatever it was, and people legit were trying to hand me $10, $20. I had a lady shove like $64 in my car window leaving an arena. I'm like, hey, I'm not actually poor. Like, keep your money. But no joke, I probably, if I had taken one of my sweet hats and gone out there, I probably could have collected $500 a night for people that are handing me money. And it was weird too, because people almost didn't know how to react sometimes. You'd see this like befuddled look on their face, like, I want to cheer for him, but I know he's a prick, so I don't know what to do. So you get like that weird thing, but I think that's why Vince turned me to happy when he did, because I was getting very close to that line.
Yeah. And people, I mean, your portrayal of bum-ass Corbin.
Full commitment.
Full commitment. And I think, you know, I can attest to it. I can sympathize with it. There is this thing that when you make the decision to shave your head, and it's for all the obvious reasons.
Like what?
Storyline.
Yeah.
When you let that
Mine
hair
look just like Dolph's. I don't know what you're talking about.
When you let that hair grow back in, I've been there. It's a horror show. And people believe it. People go,
It's not cool.
yeah. There's only one reason a man looks like that. He's down on his luck.
Yes.
Times aren't good. Dolph, do you ever look at that hairline of yours and like check it? I mean, it's incredible the way it's held up.
My barber charges double because it's so thick. So
Must be
that's
nice.
like a bunch of money to you guys. I'm just kidding.
What a heel.
I'm totally kidding. No, I'm psychotic. I don't sleep at night. I'm like checking. I'm like, I'm not gonna be. But if it happens, it happens. If I become Michael Hayes in 2 years,
In 2 years.
if it happens, I got to 42 with this, and I couldn't pull something off or get a wife or something. That's on me, not on nature.
Well,
I wear hats. It's fine.
I do. X-Pac, you got a lot to take care of. So I want to take this moment for everybody to give X-Pac and Dolph Ziggler the biggest round of applause. Thank you both for being here. I will release you into the night. Corbin, I need you to stay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys for having me. X-Pac rules. Corbin's great. He's going to have a great time with you guys. I don't know. I'm busy.
Yes. And take... We're not done. Not by a long shot, because there's somebody that wants to talk to Baron Corbin, as a matter of fact.
Me?
Yeah. She told me.
She. Okay.
Yeah. It's not Cathy. I mean, I'm sure Cathy would be fine talking to you. But, yeah, you talk a lot.
That's a lie. We don't.
No.
First time I ever met her.
Hey, Mike. Yeah. You ready to do another one of those intros? All right. Do you want to... There you are. You want to introduce Medusa? Yeah. Okay.
You gave it away.
No. It's just...
They didn't hear
This is how we
anything.
cue.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome WWE Hall of Famer. She goes by a lot of names. We're going to go with Medusa.
Medusa.
You want to do Medusa or Alundra Blaze? Which
No.
Your choice. Dealer's choice.
I want to do Alundra Blaze and put some stank on it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's an announcer term. Put some
Stank.
stank on
Professional. All right.
Yeah.
WWE Hall of Famer Alundra Blaze.
Dang! I got to hold on to my belt.
Everybody look at her shoes. They're older than me.
I'm holding on to this title to make sure nothing happens to it. I wanted to stay right here.
I didn't even hear what you said on purpose.
It's okay.
That's all right. I'm not done with
It
you
wasn't
yet.
that good.
Yeah, I
mean-
know. Apparently. Anyway, I heard you. First of all, how y'all doing?
Hey.
Yeah, right on. You guys having a good time? Right on. All right, it's getting better now. All right. I heard you got a title.
Yeah. This one's mine, though. This one's mine. You're not good historically with... you're not trustworthy.
I am
with
very
titles.
trustworthy. I'm very trustworthy. This here, right here, is my Japanese title from Japan.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm going to set it right. Do you have a trash can?
I don't have a trash.
Do not. No. All right, good. Because that one's never been in a trash can. However,
Look at
here
that.
is the title, the original title.
Is that the one?
WWF. That was in the title. That was in the trash. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Good story there. See how we have the duct tape on the F so we can't see it anymore? Yeah.
We got the F out.
We got the F out.
We got the F out.
Oh, and you picked up that belt.
That the WWE
Yes.
Women's Championship title is here because I was watching an interview that you did not too long ago where you said that your main concern, you didn't realize, Medusa became very infamous for taking the WWE Women's Championship and throwing it in the garbage on an episode of Monday Nitro. She was released while she was still champion. And her concern was that she wouldn't get the physical title back because it wasn't her property. She didn't realize that the symbolism of throwing the title in the trash would be a much bigger issue than just the physical leather and metal.
Really?
But
Wait a minute.
go ahead. You see what I'm saying? But I find But I find it hilarious that that was the concern. However, it is absolutely still in your possession.
It is.
Well, how is this?
It's a beautiful story.
I want to know.
It is. It's a great story. I'll make it quick. Since some people are long-winded. However,
You're coming in hot. You are coming in hot.
the title. I was getting ready to leave the house, and I got a knock on the door, and it was a FedEx. And I opened it up, and it was, we won't be needing your services anymore. I was kind of bummed out. And of course, when you're the breadwinner and feeding your family, you're a little bummed out. So, and you're trying to figure out what you're going to do. How are you going to provide for your family? And just like any man in our business back then, which was 90%, what do? And I tried to, you try to keep everything in order and keep your cool. And I got a call from Eric Bischoff. But Eric will argue that and said I called him. But I do remember, and it's in my book, I was sitting on the toilet when he called. And I took a refreshing dump when he called.
I was going to ask, just for the purpose of the record, number 1 or number 2, but you answered that.
But anyway, Eric
eloquently.
and I go back and forth all the time. And I just told Eric, just, zip it, Eric. It was the biggest thing that happened in your career, and you made the most money when the Monday Night War started. So, and I was basically the start of the pinnacle by throwing the title in the trash. However, he did say, Deuce, do you have that title? I said, what title? I said, the WWEF at the time title. And I said, yeah. He goes, why don't you come on and I'll hire you and we'll do TV and you bring that title with you. I go, but that's not mine. I got to give it back to Vince. Are you killing? Really? He's like, no, really. Bring it and we'll do something. We'll do an interview and I'm like, okay, but okay. So I wasn't thinking anything of it, and I knew I was going to mail it back to Vince and whatnot, and I was waiting for the call back to do that. So I got there, and he said, hey, you're going to come up and do an interview with myself, and there'll be a trash can up there. You just kind of grab that trash can and do what you want to do. I'm like, okay, I can read into that. I can do that. So I didn't think anything of it, and I thought, okay. I said, but Eric, if that title goes in the trash can, I need that title back because it needs to go back to Vince. Swear to God. And he's like, okay, no problem. And that title was back after the interview, like in 30 seconds flat. And then I just, I never got the call, and, who do I give it to? Where do I mail it? And fast forward in 2015 when I got the call to go into the Hall of Fame, which I never thought would happen. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you will. I'll make sure of it. I got you. I got your back. Yeah, I got you. And so when that happened, I was in a driver's meeting because I was racing monster trucks at the time, and it was like.
That's one tends to do. It's either, that's how you know, the calls that are not going to turn out great, you're taking a dump. The calls are going to be great, you're racing monster trucks.
I'm racing monster trucks, and I was like, what do you do? I'm getting these calls, I'm like, oh, great, a fan got my number. What am I going to do? And they're like, this is WWE, please call the office. I'm like, well, it's been like 20 years. They must need my new address for taxes, which I never got any royalties, so that was weird. And so I'm like, okay. So finally, and then I called, and they asked me if I would be in the Hall of Fame, and I was like, whoa, way beside myself. I was standing there butt-ass naked with my fire suit around my ankles, trying to get dressed, and I was like, oh my God. And it was
have the strangest phone conversations.
Can you imagine
Note to self, don't call her anytime. Especially on FaceTime.
Never FaceTime.
Never FaceTime.
I don't even hit FaceTime, no. But I mean, a true story, and they're so authentic, and it was just crazy. And then I'd never heard Vince's voice since, I worked with him in 93. Were you born?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I thought that was your IQ.
I'm bald. and have a gray beard. I was born in '93.
Okay. And so, I love him to death. Great talent right here, guys. He
That's
is.
true.
Very good talent. I love his work.
You know, I think you could go into the Hall of Fame like 3 or 4 times. I think Bum-Ass Corbin could go in.
Bum-Ass Corbin could
I
go
think
in.
Constable Corbin could go in.
Yes.
I think King Corbin could go in. I mean,
Constable Corbin did do like 8 segs of Raw every week till where people wanted to kill me.
it was a lot.
When I got fired from when Vince, Stephanie, Shane, and Paul were all in the ring to fire me, we couldn't even talk because the crowd was just chanting everything about me getting fired. And Hunter literally walks over and he's like, whispers to me, he's like, "You can't pay for this kind of heat." And I was like, "But they think I ruined Raw."
But you did ruin Raw.
By doing what I was told.
No. You?
But that character was absurd as well.
It was a lot.
Let's
It was
just
a
change the rules mid-match.
Yeah.
It was great. Wrestling in a vest and a collared shirt in 120 degrees outside with Seth. I thought I was going to die. Every time I went like this, it was just hot air in my face.
That should have been familiar. Oh, so good. So when I did see Vince at the Hall of Fame, I haven't heard his voice since 93, 94, 95. And then I was there in rollers getting ready for my speech. And all of a sudden I hear, "Alondra?" I was like, oh my God, that voice. Turned around and he walked up and I was like, oh my God, you look good. Like he did. Vince looked great. And so he gave me a big hug. And the first thing that came out of my mouth is, I said, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And he said, "No worries, we're past all of that." And it was great. And then back then in your Hall of Fame, they'd look at your speech and they'd usually cross everything out because you couldn't say everything that you wanted. But they looked at my speech and they said, "Yep, good." I said, "What?" Wow, they did not cross out one thing. And so that to me was pretty cool. And then I said, "Oh, by the way, Vince, I've got an idea." Okay. I'm like, "Vince, can we bring out the trash can?" And he looked at me and I said, "I brought the title with." Continue. And I go, "There's some things I really didn't like, so I'm going to put some things in the trash can, including the title, and I swear it'll be a great speech." Okay. And he just trusted me. And I did that and pulled out the things at Eric Bischoff's book. JR's barbecue sauce. And the title, and brought it back to where it belonged.
I love full circle.
Full circle.
Full
and
circle.
Here's the funny thing. I walk up to Vince. I said, "Sir, thank you so much. Here's the title." He goes, "Keep it."
Hey, let you keep it.
Yep. So now I've made more money with the title now than I did with it. It's been great. It's been so great.
That's amazing. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you about this. I mean, it's one of my favorite things, right? Before I knew I was going to talk to you, I wanted to ask you about this.
Oh boy, this sounds like it's going to hurt.
It's not going to hurt.
Okay.
The War Games is back.
Oh.
Right?
Oh boy, yes.
The War Games is back. NXT brought it back. It's now part of WWE again. It's just this amazing attraction. But other than maybe the original War Games matches, to me, the WCW branded War Games matches, the best one, for my favorite, is 1992.
Oh yeah. I would have to say it is.
And on the outside of the ring, representing the Dangerous Alliance, was not only Paul Heyman, but Medusa. And there's this moment where,
The hell was I thinking?
6 years before we would see The Undertaker or Mankind on top of a Hell in a Cell, Medusa's on top of the War Games cage. And it is so obvious when you watch this thing that cage was not built to have anybody on top of it. Like, it is sinking. But you, in an evening gown or whatever, you just climb right up the thing. Explain to me this, I mean, one of the best spots in War Games history. you climbing to the top of the cage to sneak Paulie Dangerously's cell phone through the crack between the roof and the wall.
Yes. So that was not planned. And it was just one of those things when you feel it and you need to, the good old school, old shoe days, where you need to ad lib. And it's not scripted. And you feel the crowd and you see what's going on. And I'm like, Paul, give me your phone. He's like, Deuce, not now. Paul, give me your phone. That was a big ass phone back then, that thing is like this big. And so I wore this blue sequence dress or green, I can't remember. And I knew that being a woman in the business that I always was prepared, so I wore those black tights underneath. Never, you never knew what was going to happen, if you're going to get your ass kicked or if you're going to get punched by one of the guys or you're going to take a bump. So I knew it was going to happen. Maybe. So I put those on underneath, and I'm thinking, usually I'm just standing on the side, just a girl, and I had it. I was going to be involved, damn it. And so, I was going to be remembered. Well, first of all, I didn't know how the ring was really put together on top. It wasn't good. It was not good. And so I kicked off my shoes, and I had duct tape or tape underneath my feet, because those chain link fence were like raw. They're like, it'll cut the crap out of you. It's like barbed wire. Like, where do you get this? What is this? And so I started climbing. I grabbed the phone and finally got the phone and started climbing. And I was going to shove it through and watch and hand it to one of the guys. But no, I looked up and I'm like, yes, I'm going to keep going. And I kept going. And I got up there and I looked and everyone's yelling, Deuce, no, get down. It's going to go through. You're going to ruin the match. Get down. I'm like, no. Because by that point, my adrenaline was so freaking through the roof, dude. I mean, how when you're going. I was gone. And I got up there. I started walking. And all of a sudden it goes, and here comes Sting to save the day. Like out of nowhere, he comes running up there. He's like, get the down. Get the down. Oh! And like he's coming at me. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I kind of shut the phone and got down.
It's just like you're just watching this as a fan going like, oh, this is some of the great orchestration that's painstakingly planned out months in advance. And it's like, nope. Sometimes we just decide it's time to go up.
Yes. Sometimes a woman's got to do what she's got to do.
But history is made, right? That's how history is made.
One of the best things was Paul Heyman, Paulie Dangerously back then. He really gave me my push in WCW and stuff. He was an amazing man and he's bright, of course. He's good. He's a great leader of the bloodline. And he wrote the foreword to my book. So
available now. I hope you guys grabbed it on the way in.
Yeah. And if not, it's all right. But Paul is an amazing man. He's been a friend for many, many years. So
that's fantastic. And you had matches with him.
I kicked his ass.
Well, speaking of history, let's make a little more history. Let's bring somebody else out here. You want to introduce Will Sasso? Yeah. Okay. Mike Rome is going to make our next massive introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mad TV alumni, the funniest man that's going to be out here tonight. Dolph's gone, right?
That's right.
Will Sasso!
I mean, Will Sasso, everybody. This is not, by the way, just Mad TV alum. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the Dudesy podcast. I was having a conversation. There's no other... Thank you. There's no other podcast on the planet where a guy like Will Sasso can dress up like the Crow and do the entire thing as Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. It's something needed in the podcast space, so I've filled that niche.
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
Cheers.
And we had X-Pac on here a little earlier, and X-Pac is very famous for his absolute 5-star classic with Bret the Hitman Hart. Do we all remember? The 1-2-3 Kid versus Bret Hart Monday Night Raw match. And He's not the only person on the show that's had a classic match with Bret the Hitman Hart, is he? Huh? Anybody on the panel ever have a match with Bret Hart?
A match happened, and I happened to have been there. Bret Hart had a match. We did one of those things, back with the Mad Television, and there was a program where we sort of hearkened back to Jerry Lawler, and now WWE Hall of Famer, the man that built this house, Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
So yeah, so at the end of that sort of back and forth, Bret Hart had a match with a big bag of flour on WCW.
Yeah, I can't believe that of all the people that I've talked to in the world of professional wrestling, and even all the people that I've talked to tonight, I'm asking you, Will Sasso, what's it like to be in the ring with Bret Hart?
Dude, let me say this. We go out there in the afternoon, and he goes, well, just run around and see how it feels, And so I'm like, okay. So I go and I run into the ropes, which is, you need to be trained to do, and it's elevator cable over there. And I felt my ribs just go, doop, doop, and I'm like, I don't think I can even do it. And he's like, oh, you played high school football, you'll get it. You watch this shit. I'm like, I can't, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he did like a Russian leg sweep. And then I went back and, marked out on absolutely everybody. And then later I went out there and he's like, if I may, he goes, don't move. Don't move. I'll pick you up and I'll do this and that. Just lay there and then I'll get you ready for the next thing and you'll know. And I was like, all right. And this fellow, Brian Hart, no relation, was an executive producer at Mad TV, big wrestling fan. And he goes, Bret, can you do one thing, the quick leg drop? And Bret's like, yeah, sure. And then, and so we get out there and I'm not supposed to move. And at one point, I'll never forget it, I'm laying down and, I've just, whatever, he spilled me on the ground or whatever. And I'm laying there and I'm looking up at the lights going, this is, time's slowed down. I was like, I'm in a wrestling match with Bret the Hitman. This is fucking insane. Okay. Sweaty and shitty. This is nuts, right? And I go, well, anyway. And I start to get up. And I roll, and he's in the air. And then you watch later, like he bent his leg so that he could absorb, because I'm now this much longer, because I'm on my shoulder. And in the middle of he's like, just because he's that good, he's like, I'm not going to break Fatty's neck and ruin his life. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's kicking me. His foot's coming in at 100 miles per hour, and it just stops. And I'm, and I'm like, you guys know. So, yeah.
You guys have had a couple matches.
I prefer not to mark out and I don't use the term sell in front of wrestlers. That's disrespectful.
Right.
Right. So I'm going, and
that's much more respectful. You're rolling.
Right. And then that was it. And then I walk out in the back and, and I'm like, I'm fine. And then literally Hulk Hogan's like, yeah, brother, none of that. Just that running around, just that kick and punch, dude. I was like, yeah. All right.
Okay.
I did it. And then, the night before, you got a show happening here? So the night before, we go to a bar and Bret goes, okay, so I'm going to go in. And I had a couple of buddies fly down they're like, we got to see this, right? So we're in Tampa and there's this, we're going to this bar and he goes, okay, so I'm going in. My buddy's like, I'm going in with Bret. Okay, so me and Brian and the guys and so-and-so, and we'll go in. You got to come in like a half hour later. I'm like, why? Well, because come on. He's like, no, he's got to keep it kayfabe. I also don't say kayfabe.
Will Sasso, by the way, my new favorite Will Sasso character is Will Sasso trying to be cool in front of wrestlers.
Well, shit, I remember I was coming up and Deuce had fucking run of the place. Fuck, she dropped that fucking belt in the fucking trash and shit off to the fucking races.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, fucking butt ass that shit. She could dress wherever the fuck she liked in the locker room with the boys, and fuck Deuce had run of the joint.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'll leave soon, everybody.
Keep going.
You're saying though.
So Brett's a nice man,
Yeah.
and we had a good time when I pretended to wrestle. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think I mean you that Monday Night Wars Attitude Era, you got your fill of quite a bit. Like I feel like the Will Sasso wrestling connection is often underplayed. There are very few people that have had that experience, but have also shared a ring in the celebrity world with Chris Jericho that led to eating a Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
I mean, look, I see it. People send me this YouTube, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's me. I remember that. I remember doing that 20 years ago, and yeah, it's nuts. Look, I'm a lifelong wrestling fan. So it's insane. It's insane for me to, and
You're like the opposite of Dolph Ziggler. He doesn't like wrestling.
He doesn't like wrestling. I've always
he's
heard
not he's not into it.
Okay, Dolph is full of shit because he loves wrestling. Every year he's like, oh, my contract's up. This is it. And then he's like, I got 2 more years now. And I'm like, you obviously don't hate it then, man.
That's the proper renegotiation tactic.
Yeah. Well, and he thinks it makes him cool because he's like,
I don't even like
I don't want
this,
to be here, but they just keep paying me to be here. He loves it. That's why he's so good at it.
Is it, I mean, obviously you're very good at it, Will, but like, you do I'm saying I was going to say impressions, not wrestling, not wrestling.
Not getting tossed around.
No, not wrestling, no.
Wrestling legends, yes.
But doing impressions, but it's just it's one thing to do impressions in your space, right? But to go out into their space, right?
It's rough.
And impersonate that, to go into a wrestling ring,
dude,
in front of wrestling fans, and Chris Jericho, and Stone Cold's coming out, and do your Steve Austin impression.
Look, I feel, here's how I feel. Remember a few years back when they kept having celebrity guests and Dolph is getting punched in the face by the arrow or something from the CW? And I'm like, this sucks, So I get it. Then they asked me, yes, of course, I will be there. So, you're coming out and, Jericho's like, get out here. I don't want to wait until, No Way Out and the music hits. The place explodes. You walk out there and I feel the if I may, the drug, of like, wow, this is something, which is an incredible position as a fan to sort of just a little bit of that and see how this feels from your point of view. I went into tunnel vision. I'm walking down the aisle, doing the bad motherfucker walk, and there's people going, yeah. Well, I can't. I got
the hips.
And there's people going, yeah, whatever you head. Don't forget your lines, like they're all and like, you know what I mean? Like they're like, get the back in, screw you. This sucks. Said, go home, Heat, pal.
Look at you with your terminology.
Yeah. And I had a friend who came, and he was sitting on the other side of the ring there, and he said, this guy sitting next to him goes, oh, Stone Cold looks like and, and you get out there, and it's like, literally, I had tunnel vision. My mouth goes dry. I'm like, thank goodness all I have to say is what over and over again. And then Steve Austin comes out, and in the afternoon, we go out there, and he's like trying to make sure that it's not going to be a Vince McMahon stunner where, and he's like, now it's a shotgun blast. When I hit the stunner, sell it, please. And I'm like, yeah. So he's like, just go down, then just off to the side, just bang. Off to the side. Bang, just fall over to the side.
Isn't that real? Is that scene in JFK?
Yeah. He just went bang, off to the side. Just
bang, off to the side.
Real simple. And then Jackie O's gonna. That's. And so I wanted to do the Rock's sell of like flippity, and pushing up, which I'm not getting my big ass up. But I tried it, and I'm like flappity flap into the rings, into the ropes, and I remember like looking up, and Steve like does this thing, and I go flappity flap, and he's getting up to to stomp a mud hole and walk a track, and he's like like had to laugh because I'm upside down going, "Are you proud of me?" So, but it's like a VR experience. Everyone should do it once. Everyone should, please feel free tonight. Please upset Medusa and Baron and see if they'll smack the shit out of you out in the parking lot. It's something everyone should experience. I guarantee it won't hurt their professionals. No, I'm very lucky to be able to.
I think that's anybody in our industry, though, in a sense. Like for me too. Like I grew up in Kansas City watching wrestling. My dad was a massive fan. Everything came through Memorial Hall. Harley Race, Ric Flair, DiBiase, all of those guys. Kamala, we're talking about back there. Like, Kansas City had such a rich history, and we got awesome, shows at Kemper Arena and everything like that. But I still get it now with some of the superstars I work with. Like I did, Madison Square Garden, worked The Undertaker. Oh. And I'm out first, and it's me and I think Kevin Owens versus Taker and Roman. And then we're standing on the backside of the ring, and Taker's music hits, goes dark, that you feel his reaction. You're going, holy shit, that's what being over is. Like when you hear and you're out there for a reaction like that, and you get chills, and you're just like, dude, I'm a kid again, but I'm about to wrestle this dude. But this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. I'm hitting Kevin like, Taker, Taker's coming. Like that's what it is. And like there's little things like that blow your mind. I had the same experience with Kane. I thought I busted Kane's nose. It was like one of my first matches on the main roster. I'm working with Kane. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like,
that's Kane.
The red lights. I'm going, I'm scared. I'm an 8-year-old kid. I'm scared again. And then I see just red dripping down. I'm going, oh God, my career's over. I busted Kane's nose. And we get to the back, and he's like, yeah, it's a great job. And I'm going, dude, did I hit you in the nose? Are you bleeding? He goes, oh no, it's just my paint. So for like 15 minutes, I had genuine fear that Kane was going to murder me and I was going to lose my job, but it was just paint dripping down his face.
That is great. Can you believe, by the way, first of all, round of applause to all of our guests so far. And I was just, I can't believe, and I guess, this is credit to them. Every guest that we announced showed up. Every guest is here. Can you believe?
You soft launched Will Sasso.
Say that again?
You soft launched him. Like you put it out there, but like
I was worried.
Yeah.
Will Sasso's a Hollywood celebrity, and I come to LA and I keep hearing about the way these Hollywood people act. Big timing, you know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't know that Will knew how to and do all the wrestling stuff. So I didn't realize he was just, one of us ultimately. But I feel like
that's what I'm saying. No, look, I feel very at home in a room, full of guys. And I should have worn my sweatpants. But I'm telling you, look, I am such a Mark. Whatever. My poor wife who's sitting over there. I have to massage her feet to have her watch a match with me. I'm like, absolutely, gladly, no problem. And the thing about the first TLC match was, yeah.
When you're pausing matches to explain to your spouse the significance of a specific spot, and you're going back 6 months. And you're watching them glaze over and go back the last 14 years of their life. It's not it's not good.
Why did I do this? Yes,
why did
absolutely.
But we love wrestling. And I thought that maybe something fun. You guys want some surprise guests? We're all here, right? Hey, hot dog, can you put your hot dog chair down here? I don't want to, unless anybody has to go, I don't want to kick anybody out. If anybody does
I'll go stand over there.
Have to go, but bring the hot dog chair down. Let's squeeze over or whatever, because we have a couple of gentlemen who are gonna, Will lost his shoe. A couple of gentlemen who are going to be joining us. Yes, I'm actually not going to do the bit this time because it's a surprise guest, so that would really be shooting myself in the foot. Mike Rome, if you do your thing.
How am I supposed to know what to do if you don't prep me ahead of time?
Mike, I hope we're on the same page.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2 members of Legato Del Fantasma, Joaquin Wilde and Santos Escobar!
How about that? Legato, huh? One time for Legato. There's you guys want to, there you go.
Thank you.
How is this first WrestleMania weekend treating you guys so far?
Amazing, amazing. Good evening, everyone. I'm very excited, very, very excited. This isn't my first Mania week, but it is my first with the company. Last year we was doing NXT, Stand and Deliver. Great ladder match, by the way. Match of the night, I heard. Not sure, but some people told me it was match of the night.
I think so.
Just a lot of emotions. It's going to be a busy week. I'm just glad,
Yeah.
I want more.
Yeah. I mean, how great is it, by the way, to have seen Legato come up to the main, and this is probably more of a question for the audience because I'm basically asking you guys to pat yourselves on the back, but
which we can.
Yeah, all right, you're okay with that. Like seeing this group in NXT, and we're going like, this is it. Like, so all the potential is right there. This is the act. They've figured it all out, and then they come to the main roster, and it works. You know what I mean? It's getting that response. It works. I mean, you guys have gone. You've been villains. You've been heroes, and it seems like it's just working. Is that how it feels?
Yeah, it is. That's exactly the feeling. Of course, you never know, and in this business, in this industry, timing is everything. And sometimes, most of the times, what you want doesn't happen when you want it. We were just discussing that earlier. And my tryout, my one and only tryout for the company was in 2011. And it didn't happen then, and I thought it was never going to happen. And then all of a sudden, I terminated my commitments with other companies, and within 20 minutes, I was with the family. It was within 20 minutes, I was like, wow, I guess timing is something to consider.
Yeah.
When you dream, when you wish for something, just consider timing.
Yeah. Did you? And was there a hesitation coming to the WWE or getting involved in that family? Because it was like, I mean, you'd developed a career. You had a great career already, but it's almost like we're doing something totally different. And it's either going to skyrocket or it's not, but it's real tough to go back after. Was there any concern on your part?
Absolutely, yeah. I had to me, my career was over. That's it. In Mexico.
Right.
When I decided to do something else, I was ready to finish my career, to actually make the big bucks in Mexico. It took me 19 years to climb that mountain in Mexico. And then when I was there, starting to enjoy, I realized that's not really my personal goal. I always wanted to be here. I was educated to be here. I was born and raised in Mexico City. My parents taught me English, French, the business. And it was always my idea to do it here. But then thank you so much. But then as time progressed, it didn't happen. And when I had my tryout, it was a very good tryout. I got my promo in English, French, Spanish. Everyone was excited. Yeah, you're coming on board. I went back home very happy, and then it didn't happen. And I was younger. Because age is it's that giant that's always behind us.
Yeah.
And I was very sad. I was disappointed, and I thought that was it for me. So I had to build a career in Mexico, because that was never my plan. My plan was always to do it here.
Always here.
So I had to build a career there practically from scratch, because just for being present at that tryout, I was blackballed in the company that I was. So every opportunity was dead for me. And then I had to go migrate to another company, AAA, and they treat me good.
Mm-hmm.
They treat me good, and of course, I feel like I always have to work twice to get what I want, but that's fine. That's fine, because everything tastes better. And I climbed that mountain, and no one thought I could do it, and I did it. And then I said, let's try one more time. Let's try one more time, and it worked. It worked, and it was. I remember this the first time. Our first match together was, I believe, March 15, 2020. Next week, the world ended.
Yes.
So I was like,
yeah,
it's probably not going to work again. And then we started developing, the Santos Escobar and Legato Del Fantasma and my hermanos. And then they give me this first appearance when I do the reveal, when I take off the mask, my first in-ring promo, which it might be something that you guys are used to, but a Mexican born and raised in Mexico, first appearance without the mask, in-ring promo, that's unheard of. That's unheard of. I'm nervous. I'm hesitant. And I'm waiting for the cue. Joaquin is behind me. So I'm thinking it's him. He's pacing. He's making me nervous.
I was nervous too, by the way.
But then I'm like this, and I feel like this. And I'm thinking it's Joaquin. I'm like, here I go. I turn around, and it's Triple H. And he just tells me, knock it out of the park, and leaves. And I'm like, and then our music hits just like that. I didn't have time to get nervous, but I went out there and there's one thing that all of us feel is like, we might be very nervous. We might feel the weight of the world in our shoulders, but when it's time to go, you go. Yeah. That's it. It's showtime.
I got a couple more questions for you, but I'm getting the Iggy on Corbin. So let's
me.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say for these guys especially, like you said, they come up and it's working, and I think when people are doing something that's truly authentic to them, and it's the character and the way they are in the ring, it makes it easy. And I think that's why they're working. What they're doing is 100% authentic, and who they are and how they carry themselves. So when the red light hits, they're just doing them, and that's why they're finding success on SmackDown and on the main roster, because we've had a few other people that have come up recently that aren't catching on, aren't clicking like you want to. I mean, it's not easy. You're having to walk out and introduce yourself to the world and to a new audience coming from NXT. It is a different crowd. NXT is a heavy metal crowd. They are the underground band fans. Like, they love wrestling. That's what they love. And where the main roster is more entertainment based, it is a little of both. It's just different. So they're having to come out and introduce themselves to families and to kids and to people who have never seen them before. But if you're authentic, they buy it, they believe it, they're invested, and it can be successful. And that's what these two are doing, and their whole group is doing, that makes them special, and why they're going to find so much success on the main roster. So when you say you're nervous, but you just go out and do you, it works, and that's what's special about these guys.
Thanks, bro. Thank you so much.
One of the things that you did in NXT was, and that's, I think, one of the things that makes the sort of story that you've been telling with Rey Mysterio so significant is that, again, it comes from a real place, right? And we know this because of the tribute that you paid to Rey, back at the Halloween Havoc NXT show. Now, I thought that was gear that was made to tribute Rey. You corrected me on that, right?
Yeah. I remember I called Rey, and I've known Rey for probably 30 years
Wow.
now. So I called him and I said if I could, pay homage to him in that Halloween Havoc match, him and Eddie, and if I could have something like maybe a wristband, whatever. And he sent me the gear and he said, if it fits, wear it. But here's the catch. Here's the catch. I had to drop 10 pounds in 5 days because I had to wear that. I just had to wear it.
Oh, it's gonna fit.
And I told him, I'm gonna wear it.
By the way, that
Hopefully-
gear's on display at the Superstore this weekend.
Yeah. And then when it was done, and I told him, I'm bringing the gear to you. Do you want me to wash it? He was like, no. No, live it like that.
That's awesome.
And that's one of the high points of my life.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, that Ray Eddie match is top 5 all-time matches without qualification. So the fact that when I saw the gear and I was like, oh, I love that you paid tribute to it. And then when I found out, no, that's the gear. It's mind-blowing, especially because you also got an action figure out of the deal. There's an action figure of you wearing Ray's gear.
Well, it's the business part of what we do. No, wait. I know it's funny, but I didn't meant for it to be funny. That's something that we always discuss. And here's the thing. That night, Ray and Eddie, they didn't know that match was going to be that special for us 20-plus years after the fact. They didn't know. They just went out there and did what they loved, what they were passionate about. And we always discuss that. I'm 23 years in the business, so, and I tell them every match I have, live show, premium live event, TV show, it's a WrestleMania to me.
Mm.
And so I go out there and I perform to the very best of my ability. Because that one promo, that one backstage, that one match, that one 2-minute segment can make you or break you. So it's either you go out there and take it, because it's on the table, it's right there for you to grab once we're here. I mean, back there, before I was on WWE or NXT, who knows? I'm on NXT, go out there and take it. It's right there. Now we're here. It took us a very long time, and we worked really hard to get here. Now we're here. Don't become complacent. Go out there. Take it. Take it. Because if you don't take it, you're going to regret it. And someone else will, but down the line, when you look back, I assure you, you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
Live in the moment. Enjoy it.
And that's too part of like when you have to work twice as hard to get to where you're going. The secret is to just keep working twice as hard, and you'll keep going where you're going. All right, we're going a little long here, but I do want to offer the opportunity for a quick Q&A. We'll do about 10 minutes or so, if you want, of Q&A. If any of you guys got a split, do your thing. But do you know who our Q&A moderator is? Unfortunately, you do. Mike Rome, if you would introduce our Q&A moderator. You want to hit him with the...
He paid me for this. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing in at 210 pounds. He's super muscular.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chris Van Vliet!
Congratulations on all of this.
Oh,
What a lineup.
I mean,
I give it up for Sam
Chris-
Roberts, ladies and gentlemen.
I will tell you, I like Chris very much as a person, but his positivity has just got to go. It's too much. It's, the gratitude and the positivity. And
Very,
it works
very
for-
DDP-ish. Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but I appreciate it.
So, should I start saying negative things?
Just, a little,
all right.
a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to sit here?
I don't know. I think they're setting up the mic for you. I think it's going to be over there. Yeah, they could.
Right here. How about this?
Look at all right,
Look at
Chris.
this.
I take back everything I ever said about you.
Wow.
If anybody has any questions, you want to make your way over.
Come on over here.
To Chris. There you go. Right.
Well,
I
look
mean,
at
if there
that.
wasn't a more perfect person to start this thing.
Did you plan that?
I did.
Wow.
This is a well choreographed machine.
Sir, what is your name and where are you coming from?
My name is Jeff. My name is Jeff. 21 Jump Street Drill. I came from Santa Clarita, actually, just up the freeway.
Okay. What kind of question do you have for our lovely panel here?
I actually wanted to ask Joaquin, what's the biggest difference you found after coming over from TNA Impact in the WWE system? Because I know you were there for a while and had great things happen to you for TNA, but it's a totally different world, right?
Man, I don't even know where to start with that question. I mean, it is nice to have paychecks arrive on time now. Yeah, no, I'm very thankful for my years in TNA. I honestly feel like those years prepared me in a lot of ways for my experience now with WWE. So yeah, nothing but good things for the most part for my time there.
Well, it goes back to timing, right? I'm sure that you grew as a performer immensely, and then that way, it's a big difference getting here when you're just starting, when you've got a year or two under your belt versus having TV time, having live event time, having all this stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Thankful also because I feel like if I would have got to WWE back then, those TNA years, I probably would have screwed it up, honestly. I just don't think I was mature enough. I probably would have did something stupid and got myself fired. So I'm glad that this WWE experience has happened at this point in my life, for sure. So yeah, just blessed.
Love it. Love it. Who else has a question? You want to raise back there? Come forward.
If
forward.
you have a question, maybe line up over here.
I mean, Chris, what have you done this before?
right.
What are you, a professional? What are you, a total? No, you're right.
I only got 5 feet.
You're right. You're making do, and you're doing a great job.
That's very positive of you,
I
Sam.
know. I
It's
wasn't being
rubbing off on
sarcastic.
you.
You're doing very
I
well.
like it. Hey, good to meet you. What's your name and where are you from?
David from Chino Hills, California. Yeah.
We got Chino Hills in the house. Wow.
Let's go.
3 people. What's your question?
I don't have a question. I just like to request one thing. I'd love to hear Will Sasso promote WrestleMania in the Hulk impression.
Do what now?
I would love to hear you promote WrestleMania as the Hulkster, brother.
Wow. Well, let me tell you something, dude. There's all kinds of different weeks, brother. You got the first week of the month, dude. You even got the last week, brother. And then in February, it's a little shorter, dude, because it only goes to the 28th, brother. But my favorite week, dude. Well, hold on a second, Sam. Hold on, dude. Hold on, brother. Hold on, dude. Hold on, Bert. Hold on, Cathy. Hold on, dude. All right. Hold on, Fantasma del Sol. I'm going to break it down like this. Hold on, Deuce. Hold on. Hold on, Mike. Hold on, everybody. Chris, hold on, dude. Well, it's like this, dude. Some people have a birthday week, brother. Well, no, hold on, dude. That's too many days, brother. That's 7 days for one day, dude. But my favorite week, dude, is WrestleMania week, brother. That's when WrestleMania happens, dude.
Oh, yeah, I can't
why
wait.
they call it
I
that.
can't wait. I'm so jazzed up. It's incredible.
All right, what's your name? Where are you from?
Oh, hey, what up? I'm Fabio from Los Angeles, California. Sick name.
That is
Hey,
a
thanks,
sick name,
man.
right?
Appreciate that. Sam,
when your name's Fabio, do you have to have the hair?
I got tired of playing against type. Quick question, mostly for Sam, but if anybody else on the dais wants to answer. Mattel just put up the Mattel Creations $400 Monday Nitro entrance stage. What are y'all thinking about that? Is it a pickup? Is it a pass? I'd like to know.
I'll tell you right now. That shit is backed. I already backed it. I put my 4 down. I'm trying to get a Monday Nitro stage with some Ultimate figures. Yeah, no, it's a cop.
I'm all about the Nitro stage. I can see some good things happening. What about a Monday Night War setup or something? Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I can just see it now. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, see? By the way, I got my Alundra Blaze action figure. If Bill would make me a little garbage can, I could take the women's championship right there on the Nitro stage.
Wait a minute. Boom.
Good question.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Fabio.
There we
right
go.
on.
Thank you,
Yep.
Fabio.
Yeah.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Jimmy Diaz. I'm from LA, here in LA.
Nice to see that people traveled really far for your show, Sam. That's great.
But I've been a big, huge Sam Roberts fan since the O&A days. So
thank you very much.
What's your question?
It's not really a question. I saw we were doing a request for impressions from
Oh my
Sasso.
God.
So I was actually hoping we could hear from Jesse Ventura today.
I gotta purge the Hulk. In that it's a wrestling evening, I'll give credit where credit is due, Monsoon. Close doesn't just count in horseshoes and hand grenades, Vince. These are tricks. These are party tricks that everyone
That was great.
Everybody has an uncle at Thanksgiving who sounds like that. Well, let me tell you something about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm sorry.
What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Damien from Pomona. Yeah, that's it. So I don't have a question either. Sorry about that.
I mean, this is a real abuse of a Q&A session. I open the floor to you, and you betray my trust, all of you.
The Q stands for question. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
me to do the British Bulldog?
Bobby Heenan, we love that dog, Matilda. It's like a little child to us. Please, Bobby Heenan, we looked everywhere. We're looking back in the backstage area. We had security looking. We even had fans looking. Please, Bobby Heenan, bring the dog back. Bobby Heenan, we love that little dog. It's like a child to us. We were in the back. We had the security guards looking. We even had the wrestling fans. Already said that. Dan. Oh, sorry. Please bring the dog. I'm gonna leave.
It's good. No, it's good. It's good.
I was
It's
joking.
good.
I
It's
didn't
good.
think that.
By the way, that didn't count as your turn. He just
Right.
decided to make up a.
No, yeah, thank God.
Good
Listen,
question.
Sam, I got something for you. I drew this for you. It's
Oh,
Jim
my
and Sam
gosh.
related. There you go.
Oh my gosh, this
that's
is incredible! Look at this. That's so well done. Thank you very much. You're the man. A Jim and Sam comic book cover. That's great. Thank you very much.
Slightly terrifying. Actually.
It is. You know what's slightly terrifying is anybody that listens to Jim and Sam knows that the only reason Hot Dog flew out here was because he heard Cathy was on the show and he's trying to practice his small talk.
Oh, yeah. You know why? You got a whole dozen of roses in back, too.
Whoa!
Oh,
And Hot Dog is putting his name on the card right now. He didn't bring them, but he's taking credit.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Jackson from Melbourne, Australia.
And he's here just for this show. That's so cool.
We like a good few men down under.
I'm about to betray your trust again. I don't have a question.
Do you want me to do an Outback Jack?
He doesn't have one.
I mean, if you've got a lemon, I'll take a lemon impression, but hey. I just came up to say, I've flown all this way. My wrestling coach, or short-time wrestling coach, Tricky, down the back, has actually also come here. So it's crazy to bump into someone that I had no idea was coming. But I walked in, and my partner, just like Will's, is, I don't want to listen. Oh, no, I'm here all the way. I've traveled all this way. She's come all the way.
No, thank you for...
She's walked in. We're waiting in line to do the tickets, and she's seen Medusa, Alundra, and she's like, oh, she's about to take the ticket. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not how that works. She's not taking tickets. She's like, no, right there, just go there. She's asked to come up. And I was like, no, that's not who that is. She sees her work out on stage, and I'm like, oh, no. So introducing my partner to this experience, and this is even new for me. Like, I'm a mark. My friend's the NXT guy. I'm the WWE entertainment guy. This is crazy. So thank you all just for coming out and speaking. And Baron, my middle name is Corbin. So when someone goes on stage with the name Corbin, I'm like, oh my God, who has the name Corbin? I hate it. And now I've learned to grow to love it. Even when you're happy, when you're sad. And I'll continue to cheer when you come out to the Jackson noise.
I got one, people.
Yes! Ching ching!
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Who else is over there?
All right, what's your name? Where are you from?
How you doing? My name is Corey from Rockland County, New York. How are you,
What's
Sam?
up, Corey from Rockland?
Well, actually, my question is for Medusa. Can you tell us anything about working with Sherry Martel?
There's a question.
Wow. That's a great question.
Great question.
So Sherry, I mean, she literally kicked my ass. She showed me how it was done, and I mean, Sherry Martel was a brawler. She was so magnificent. Her psychology in the ring, her timing was on point, and Sherry was a showwoman. It was an honor to work with her, even though she broke my fingers in the door. There's a great story about that in my book.
Get the book.
Amazing woman. Yes.
What's your name? Where are you from?
I am Busted Open Nation loyal member Kyle from New Jersey. Go. Busted Open. My question's for Corbin. I was at WrestleMania 2019 when you faced Kurt Angle. At the time, I may have not approved of your win, but
I don't think anybody still approves.
Well, I have grown to become a much bigger fan of yours since then. I appreciate all the work you've done through NXT up until now. And I just want to say, being that you had that amazing match with Kurt Angle, are there any dream matches that you wish to have that could physically still be possible with your opponent?
Yeah, I mean, the match with Kurt obviously was something truly special because everybody in the world wanted John Cena, and they wanted it because, you know, Cena's first match was with Kurt. It would be a cool story, and I got that opportunity, and it's like one of those things. Like, I get why everybody's pissed, but also like I bust my ass to get to where I am and to find success, and so to get that opportunity, I'm gonna nowhere in the whole time did I ever think I was gonna win. By the way, I was like, hey, we're gonna send Kurt out on a high note. It was amazing, and for him to do that for me is something that I will forever be grateful for, because I know that wasn't his plan to be his last match there as well, but he is a professional through and through, and he's a special human being who I learned a ton from in all of my time with him, from being constable and everything. But there's still some definite dream matches out there that I would like to experience, and for me, I want to earn a spot in the main event of a WrestleMania, because I've put in so much just sweat and passion into everything I do when I walk out the curtain, because it's not always the easiest thing to do when they go, hey, you're now Happy Corbin, and you have this music, and this is where we're going. And you got to go, okay, I would like to maybe go this way, but how can I make this the best I can possibly make it? It makes it a challenge. It makes everything mean more when you make it successful. But for me, I think a dream match for me is just getting to that main event scene of a WrestleMania to get that opportunity. And I want to have it with someone like Roman Reigns right now, who is just on absolute fire. But I think for me, my dream main event match would be Seth Rollins, because I think, again, he's a guy that I can walk through that curtain and I can go 10 minutes or I can go 45 minutes with, and he is going to absolutely tear it down. And he makes everybody who he's in the ring with better, and makes the match better, because he's unselfish and unbelievable in what he does. So a main event WrestleMania with Seth Rollins would be a dream match for me.
I apologize to you. This is going to have to be our last question. I love you guys, but hey, make it count, dude. No
it's gotta
pressure.
be a good one, right?
It better be good.
He's going to go, this isn't actually a question.
What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm David from Cheetah Hills. Again, another one.
Hey.
Thanks for Corbin. Big fan. I want to ask you about your tattoo, Lobo.
Yes.
How did that become? I know it's wolf.
Español.
Español, sí.
Sí. Mi esposa es puertorriqueña.
Okay.
Y lone wolf. So she would call me Lobo, and so that's why I put
I think it's cool. I like
That's
it.
Lobo back there, because I mean, that, you know, being the wolf is awesome. I'm doing a full back piece right now with some giant wolves on it.
Oh, cool.
I just think they're badass, and I was so stoked to have that moniker. And then marrying a Puerto Rican woman, I had to learn Spanish, and That fits better than Lone Wolf down my whole
There you
neck.
go. There you go. Oh, thank you. Big fan.
Absolutely.
That's excellent.
Thank you.
And you know what the great part about that story is that she didn't call you bum ass. She called you Lone Wolf. If one of your nicknames.
Even better, I have an action figure from Mattel, and it says Bobo.
I love
Lobo.
it.
Bobo.
I want to take a second to thank all of our guests here tonight. Of course, X-Pac, Dolph Ziggler, Legato Del Fantasma, Medusa, Baron Corbin, Cathy Kelley, Mike Rowe, Will Sasso, Chris Van Vliet. I want to thank the amazing folks here at the legendary Comedy Store, John Sosis, and everybody that put this together. And most importantly, I want to thank all of you guys for showing up. This is an amazing thing for me to get to do. And I really appreciate it. Thank you all. Have a good night, everybody.